All right, well, welcome and to the 2013 season. To get started and get moving, just kind of the opening phase, I'll give you a rundown of our football team and our staff, so you have an idea of who the faces are when you get down on the floor. Staff-wise, okay, on the offensive, our offensive staff is very similar to what it was the past 12 or 13 seasons now. Bill Solomon, Mario Verduzco, and Rick Nelson are the key components that have been here and kept the stability of what we do on offense. The additions to those are Todd Blythe and Ryan Mahaffey, coaching the receivers and tight ends respectfully. Coach Solomon will coach the running backs. On the defensive side, Jeremiah Johnson coaches the linebackers. Brandon Lynch will be the corners coach. Daniel Bullocks is the safeties coach. Bryce Pop will be the defensive line coach. And Garrett Scott will be our graduate assistant who will assist with the safeties as well. So that'll kind of be the synopsis of the guys that are on the grass coaching. I'll start with offense, okay? Offensively, I think I wouldn't say the key to our season, but I think the experienced part of our football team, you would definitely have to say is probably in our skilled positions. I think at our receiver core, when you look at Brett LeMaster, Kevin Marine, Chad Owens, and Phil Wright, those are the four that have a lot of experience in our offense, and it's keeping them healthy. Vereen and LeMaster have been hurt in and out of our system, but the four of them are definitely key components of our receiving core and what we do on offense. When you look at our running backs, of course you have David Johnson. Evan Williams will be the other running back that we use quite a bit, and then we're working through who our third tailback is right now, and probably the newest name that we're working to see what he can do is Javion Browning, a freshman that we just brought in. We're finding out where he fits in the mix, but we do have quite a few running backs from 3 to 5 deep that we will move in. Who becomes that third tailback in that system will fall out during camp. When you look at the tight end position, I think that's a critical position that there's a lot of work to be done and a lot of answers to be found. Right now, Sam Rohr has probably played 80% of our downs last year at our tight end, so he's the experience. Brandon Lehman from Iowa City is a guy that is probably, we hope, takes a role in our offense this year. And then you have Will Roth and from Cedar Rapids, who I think is getting his legs back on. He had a serious injury in the spring, so we're finding out what he can do, along with Jacob Rothmacher, to be that other tight end. So if we run 2 tight ends, I think it's Rohr and Lehman if we started today, but I think Jacob Rothmacher and Roth, being that they're just coming off injuries, they've only had 2 practices, so we'll see where that leads. And then, of course, a quarterback. The quarterback is Cole Morgan. Sawyer had a real good season last year. He definitely is an answer to a lot of the questions because he's got a lot of intelligence and he can pick things up real quick. I really think that Stephen Kaiser and Justin Black have came back better already after 2 practices. And then we picked up Breon Carnes, the Nebraska transfer, who is working in the system right now, and we're learning what his abilities are as we speak. So we feel very confident and good about our depth at quarterback as much as our talent at quarterback, and allows us some latitude to do some different things. Offensive line, I think, will be very similar to the tight ends. It's a work in progress. There's people there in place to make the plays, but it's getting them to have the ability and the knowledge to get to where they belong. Kruger is definitely a leader, captain of this football team. Daniel Kruger, excellent football player, 4-year starter. He's as good as any lineman that we've had here. Jack Rummels is the other one. Those 2 will be the key people on that offensive line, and they'll be surrounded by the newcomers. Robert Rathje, Mark Blessington has been here, but those guys will work at the center position, and then Trevor Hansen is a guy that we could fall in and be that other offensive lineman. So, but I'd say in the offensive line, 2 people to look to: Dan Kruger and Jack Rummels. That's the offensive side. Special teams wise, you always feel confident. You got Tyler Severson back, and I actually think that Schmadeke will push Severson. It's have all the trust and thoughts about Tyler that you would, of course, with a 3- and 4-year starter there. preseason All-American, all the accolades because of what he's done. But Shematicki is from Waterloo County, has always pushed him. He's going into his third year here as a redshirt sophomore now, and he has the confidence in the leg to hit some long shots as well as in close. So we're very stable at the kicking position. It's the snapper and the punter that we're working with in this camp, and we'll have a new long snapper. Ryan Dixon and Trent Simpson are working out there, and then our punter will either be Logan Bigler or Sam Kuchar, who is a freshman that just got here 2 days ago. So we're working to see who that punter will be and who that snapper will be to fit the system. So that takes care of the offensive side. Defensively, I'd first go to the defensive line. Xavier Williams is a name to be recognized, as well as Chris Jepson and Colin Albrecht. Those three are very good players. I'd put Mac O'Brien in the same category, but we'll talk about the injured guys here in a little bit, and he's one of the injured ones right now. So Colin Albrecht, ex-Xavier, and Chris Jepson. So feel very good. Colin Albrecht is a heck of a story. That's a guy that, you know, you talk about just being steady from the day he walked in the door till the day he walks out, and now he's going to be an impactful player to our football team this year. So he and Chris Jepson are one of those guys that have flown under the radar, but both are in their senior years, and that's when they usually will show in more of a role that their names are talked about more often. So those are actually two excellent stories. Going to the linebacker position, at the inside linebacker, we'll roll three in there. It'll be Jordan Gakey, Sam Busher, and Jake Farley. Those three will be our Max Busher, Jake Farley, and Jordan Gakey. They'll be our three inside linebackers. We play with two. At the outside linebacker, which some people would call the nickel, Sam Tim is back off an injury, and actually he's doing excellent. Okay, probably none tougher than Sam Tim with all the injuries he's had, and he played through. He had a one-arm season last year. I mean, he played with one arm actually. We didn't know how bad the injury was. He kept playing through it, and he actually fought his way back to play his senior year. So, you know, something to be said for Sam. Same way with Zach Cutcomb. Zach was the one that we moved from offense to defense, and then he got hurt. He had an ACL at the Iowa game, and he is back now full speed again. He has got himself back at the full tempo. So we have two quality players there. It's just they're coming off two very serious injuries to play that position. So that's where that lies. And then, of course, in the secondary, you'll see a lot of new faces, but I feel very good about the secondary. I like the coaches that are coaching them. That's why we kind of put two guys that are young, what I call grass coaches, good teachers on the grass, fundamentally technique sound, because we have young players that are athletic players. Mackinton Dorley playing the right corner, was a transfer from Maryland. Charles Brown was the young man we took out of Florida as a freshman. Those are our two starting corners right now, and they're being challenged by guys like Jalen Barnes from NU High, a Waterloo young man who's really doing a nice job, and Edwin Young, who's played some corner for us. So we have four quality players there. It's just getting them where they need to be and have the confidence and the ability to play what we ask them to do. At the safeties, feel good about this spot as well. I tell you what, we have DeAndre Hall is an exceptional football player, exceptional athlete. He's put some weight on now, and he can cover some ground. He can cover some grass. And then we brought in three new guys to find those other that other spot. The new ones are Joe Feldeposh. He's from DeWitt originally, and he was at Iowa Central. So he's a junior college transfer. Tate Omley played for Butler, who played in here for the national championship game against Iowa Western. He plays safety. And then, so it's Tate, Joe, and then Ray Mitchell was a safety at Kansas last year, and he transferred in. So we have two JUCOs and a transfer, along with DeAndre, and then what we had coming back to compete for those two safety spots. So had to get big, had to get fast, had to do it in a hurry because we graduated 4 seniors, and I thought we did that. We needed to get depth. We found that, and after 2 days, I like what I see from all 3 of them, how they'll fit and mix, because I believe they are what we thought they were when we recruited them. So feel good about that. So that's kind of the overall part of our football team as you look at it and you see 2 deeps and things like that. But feel very, hey, it's exciting, man. It's football time, and shoot, it doesn't get any better, man. Once you hit the grass and once you get in here, you know, it gets exciting because it's right around the corner, and with everything that goes on, we had 85 guys stay the entire summer. And to the University of Northern Iowa, to a Division I AA football program, an FCS program, that's really unheard of. I mean, to get to that number, that's the highest we've ever been in all the years I've been here. Because our players have to stay and invest in this program and invest in themselves to stay. They are not awarded anything to stay here. They have to stay because they want to stay here, and they have to support themselves doing so most of those times. And to have 85 of a 95-man roster is really exceptional. So we feel good about that. On the injury note, I'd say this: that's kind of the hardship that we have right now. And for more of a, you feel bad for the guys. Ben Wallace had an ACL in the spring ball, and he will not be back this season. He was the one that walked in late because we kind of forgot about him. We wanted to get him in the team picture, so we quick called him and said, get over here. But Ben is down there. Ben's a huge part of this team, but won't be a factor of this season. Mac O'Brien, we have him in camp, but he had an injury this summer with a broken foot, so he's on a timeline now. If we can get him back, when we can get him back is kind of in question right now, but he had a serious injury to a fracture in the foot, which is a hard place to heal. And then the other one is Kevin Carroll. Kevin Carroll was an offensive line for us that he had a serious shoulder injury in spring ball, and he'll be out for the season. So we have 3 guys that are on the bubble right now for this season, and 2 of them were starting caliber players for us in spring ball. It's just, it was some more unfortunate things. So it gives some other guys a lot of opportunities down here. So as long as we know about that, and we've got all camp to get it recovered from, shouldn't be an issue because we have time now to make the adjustments to cover those soft spots. So any questions? Oh, thank you. Thank you.